It squeaks, right? It can squeal. This is an interesting group. This is the second time that we're doing a State of the City address in a more public format. I should start off by thanking Maggie and the Chamber of Commerce for hosting the State of the City address back on January 11th, where we had an enormous crowd down at the waterfront. It was very exciting, high energy, lots of good music. Ian played on the drum line for Deera. We had Alan dancers, the Dance Academy from Alan, big party environment. But it was also a paid environment. So it was $59, I think, for members and $89 for non-members. And obviously that's not affordable to everybody in the city of Allentown. So we made a commitment last year that we'd always do with this as a free version as well. So last year we did it at Deera and we did it at Allen, and this year we wanted to come to one of our favorite spots at Ritter Elementary, the home of the raccoons, my spirit animal. And I'm just excited to be here with all of you, even though there's not a ton of folks from outside of City Hall. The folks from the cabinet know that the plan was to do an address and bring everybody from across the city in to talk about some of the challenges that we face that I threw out there back on January 11th, but we can still do that. We can still have a really awesome experience here. Obviously our friend Jason Addy is here from the Lehigh Valley News, so he's going to be reporting on everything that we do today and taking his own awesome and unique slant. So thank you, Jason. I hope you'll participate in all of these sessions. I want to thank everybody who's here, particularly, and I guess I can call people out by name, Waldo and Josh and Melissa for coming out here, and Lewis, who's a resident of Allentown. I'm glad that you all came here, and your voice is so essential to this. Who has done chat before? How many folks here? So welcome to chat. If you haven't been to chat before, this is something that we launched last year with the intent of hearing from our residents and making sure that our residents had an opportunity to engage with city employees to address some of the challenges that we all face together. A lot of what we pulled out as priorities for this next year, for 2024, came out of conversations that occurred at City Hall at the table. So some of those were here. I can remember sitting with Eastsiders talking about traffic challenges and litter challenges. I remember sitting over at Moser and talking with residents about keeping kids active and finding after school activities. So a lot of what we have ahead of us in 2024 is based on conversations that occurred at City Hall at the table. So it was natural for us to come back and do a State of the City address in this environment. So I'm gonna go ahead and jump right into the address. So in Allentown, we work every day to create a safe, clean, and healthy environment that supports the well-being and success of residents and businesses. We all share a vision of Allentown as the beating heart of the Lehigh Valley, where families thrive, where businesses prosper, and where our people celebrate the joy of life. In 2023, the city of Allentown, under my leadership, made strides toward realizing that shared vision. Over 2 years, advance the slides. So we don't have a clicker, so Ian's gonna be my slide advancer. So go ahead, one more, there we go. Over 2 years as mayor of Allentown, I've championed change. My team is transforming City Hall into a data-driven, listening and learning organization. In past State of the City addresses, I've shown you examples of outmoded approaches to serving our residents. We insisted in the past on only accepting checks and money orders at our permit counters and across City Hall. Our city inspectors delivered unreadable inspection reports to people that were just hoping to invest. Hoping to invest in the city of Allentown. Today's different. As of today, we're taking credit cards for almost every payment in the city. We use Energov to schedule inspections, manage code compliance, and issue those reports in a readable fashion. And we're launching a more user-friendly website that will help people get the information that they need to invest. Go ahead and advance slide. I really truly believe in our team here at the City of Allentown. We're consistently delivering on the mission, and I also believe that we can experiment with non-traditional approaches to improve on that work. Our team, as you all know, tried lots of new things in season 1, and we made observations, and then we adjusted in season 2. Halloween Weekend is an example of that. In 2022, we changed the way that we celebrate our annual Halloween parade. We tweaked the traditional format to get more kids involved and brought thousands of people downtown. They didn't have Uggs to buy yet, but they came downtown. Our experience that year helped us to host an even more inclusive event in 2023. In my first year, we closed lights in the Parkway to cars for one evening. And the success of that night led Mandy Tolino's team to expand on that effort this year. And every Monday this season, we transformed lights in the Parkway into a pedestrian, bicycle, and dog paradise. Removing cars allowed us to welcome 2,500 new visitors in 2023. We launched these City Hall at the Table events right here at Ritter to change the way that we engage residents. Chat brought residents to the table as partners with city government. Together, we were able to understand our challenges and explore solutions together. You can do the slide. As mayor, I'm constantly presented with difficult decisions, and I have faced them head on. In March, I challenged the parking authority to focus on serving residents rather than chasing revenue. In June, with Chief Roca, just up the street, I looked after hours club owners in the eye and demanded that they change their ways to protect neighborhoods like this one. I stood by employees who've been publicly criticized for doing their job correctly, while also holding accountable those who have acted improperly. In December, I supported our code enforcement team's decision to close a non-compliant building despite it resulting in the displacement of businesses, because I'm always going to prioritize the safety and well-being of our residents. And that's a In the last 2 years, I've leaned on a few phenomenal teams that many of the people in this room. Police Chief Charles Roca, Fire Chief Freddie Augusto, CED Director Vicki Kissler, Public Works Director Mark Shada, Parks and Recreation Director Mandy Tolino, Health Bureau Director Dave Cinnamon, who's on vacation where today? Disney, lucky guy. Finance Director Bina Patel, IT Director Jerry Anthony, and our Solicitor Jack Gross. This is the most talented and without a doubt the most diverse cabinet ever assembled in the history of the city of Allentown. They've got more than 135 years of combined experience. That's a back of the envelope calculation. It's probably much higher than that. It's that expertise and consistent leadership that makes my job easier. I'm especially proud to say that Chief Roca is joining us for his third consecutive State of the City address, displaying a level of stability and leadership that we haven't seen in over a decade. I've also gathered some incredibly talented people in the mayor's office. In the newly created Office of Equity and Inclusion, Lucinda Wright joined the team, standing alongside Genesis Ortega, Michaela Boyer, Jay Lopez, Laura Ballot-Cole. Kat Mako, Chelsea Corbler, and Odamara Slimeboy were with us for the first State of the City address. They're unable to make it here, but they're part of that amazing mayor's office team. And while I haven't hired them all, I have to mention the exceptionally dedicated 870 people who do everything from put on a badge or jump in a fire engine to processing the bills or just be a smiling face at City Hall. They are the best. And they've performed. Dirt bike complaints are down 50% and assaults are down nearly 20% as our police officers have taken over 300 guns off the street in 2023. Our fire department opened that new academy and emergency operations center and then went out and secured over $4 million in funding to improve staffing levels, part of that 38 new folks at the academy. Deploying Energov and improving staffing in CED helped us do 30% more rental inspections per month and process permits efficiently, getting construction underway on over 200 units of housing across the city. Last year, I told you that the Health Bureau got schooled the school district down to 18 kids held out of school because they lacked vaccinations. That was the lowest the number had ever been. And Bell knows this.
And as of Friday, it was zero.
Zero. We got down to 0 in 2023, which is an unbelievable number. Public Works went bananas in 2023. Paving miles of streets and lining miles of storm sewers, converting hundreds of streetlights to LED, sometimes over-converting, and securing millions of dollars of investment for roadway improvements, taking hundreds of bags of trash off our streets and out of our parks. And speaking of those parks, our team completed construction at Valania, where I think I injured my ankle leading to the boot, and breaking ground on Irving Pool just a month after we opened Valania. That pool is right over here, and we're going to be opening the pool in May of this year. Fingers crossed. I know you can do it, maybe. We expertly maintained the best trail system in the Lehigh Valley and secured more than $1 million to further improve it. And our finance team masterfully managed expenses, building our general fund to reach, the updated number is $41 million by the end of the year, and achieving further recognition for their excellence in financial reporting. And that's what we did as a city. We accepted the responsibility to make Allentown safer, cleaner, and healthier, which gave our residents the confidence to do their part. They're investing in the city of Allentown. They pulled over 7,500 construction permits in 2023, which is a 5-year high. If you look around Allentown, you'll see construction projects underway, from the Da Vinci Science Center, which is like this close, it seems like it's this close to completion, Archer Music Hall, Eastern Exterior Wall Systems on the south side, HDC's affordable housing project on Hamilton Street, new buildings like the one at the waterfront, built by the Jandal family, added around $55 million in property value to the total improved property in Allentown, which eclipsed $4.68 billion in 2023. There was a surge in new business formation. Right after the State of the City address, we welcomed President Biden to Allentown and the Lehigh Valley in recognition of what we did our small part in Allentown, where we saw a 3-year high in the issuance of new business licenses, hitting 525 new businesses in Allentown in 2023. I got to cut ribbons with tons of different business owners. Maggie was right alongside of me for all of those, it seemed, as they opened their doors and launched their dreams. Being beside them as they told their story is amazingly affirming, and I wish I could recognize all of them today. It's all happening because they have a belief in the city of Allentown, a confidence in this administration, and a hope for our city. One more. But challenges remain. Despite the work of the public safety team, people are still making bad decisions that lead to violence and a feeling of unease in some neighborhoods. Gun violence weighs heavy, and gun safety legislation, Mr. Siegel knows this, is taking too long to make a difference in our neighborhoods. While I'm thrilled to start the year with 214 sworn officers, we do need more, and we have to compete with places that have far greater resources than we do to attract those officers. A year after I begged everyone to slow down, 4 pedestrians lost their lives in vehicle collisions in 2023. Another 8 were lost their lives either behind the wheel or as passengers, and another 60 people were severely injured in accidents on our roadways. And it's just too much for us to bear. Our beautiful city is often marred by litter and illegal dumping. On June 7th, the Lehigh Valley and Allentown had the worst air quality in America, helping put us on top of the list of the worst places in the country to be an asthma sufferer. That's Allentown, that's the cover of the asthma capitals. Low air quality and extreme heat are exacerbated by a lack of tree cover in parts of our city. The good news is that it seems like everyone wants to live in Allentown. Thankfully, Josh was able to find a house. The bad news is that the region is not building enough housing to keep it affordable for all those who want to live here. Allentown residents between the ages of 25 and 54 are unemployed at higher rates than the rest of the country and disproportionately out of the labor force. There are good jobs available across the Lehigh Valley, but Allentonians often cannot access them due to a lack of skills, lack of support systems, lack of childcare, or lack of transportation. Active civic engagement is essential to a vibrant city, but our people are simply not participating, as shown by voter turnout getting as low as 5% in some precincts in the city, or just 3 people who are residents showing up to a State of the City address. It's kind of disappointing. As our city continues to evolve, the needs of residents become increasingly more complex, and you all know that. When I speak with new arrivals at Refugee Welcome Days, and those new arrivals are coming from places like Afghanistan, the Congo, Venezuela, or Haiti, I can hear that we all have a long way to go to be truly welcoming to all. In spite of the progress that we've made with systems like Energov and our website, many of our internal systems still need help if we're going to deliver high quality and efficient government services to our residents and businesses. And there is a cost associated with all of that. While our finance team is unquestionably among the best, we don't have the ability to control inflation, which is something that you're all familiar with. Investment in the city is strong, but the revenues that investment generates through property tax cannot keep pace with rising costs. Last November, I made the case that we needed to raise taxes, but I didn't have enough support from residents to convince a majority of City Council to vote for that increase. And we'll have to return to that conversation in the future. But let's turn to the future now. There we go. And what we're going to do in 2024. My number one priority is the safety of our residents and businesses. In 2024, we're going to make investments in technology, staffing, and training to ensure that our police, firefighters, and paramedics can keep us all safe. Later this quarter, we'll activate Flock Safety Raven. It's a gunshot detection system with license plate reader that will improve our patrol officers' ability to quickly respond to shootings and break the cycle of violence. A quick response frees resources to do essential 21st century police work of reducing crime through equitable community engagement. This technology is going to make our streets safer. We'll begin work on the rehabilitation and expansion of the public safety building, bringing all of our officers under a single roof. We'll also complete design work on a new central fire station, replacing a building that lowers morale and discourages inclusivity. These facilities will turn a liability into an asset, improving our ability to recruit new police officers and diversify the ranks of our firefighters. This investment in staffing will make our neighborhoods safer. By the end of 2024, we'll have a complete Vision Zero action plan, detailing the path to 0 fatalities and serious injuries on our roads by 2030. While we're planning, we'll make smart investments in slowing things down by installing raised crosswalks near schools, tightening up travel lanes, and lowering speed limits across the city. A combination of enforcement, education, and design will make our residents safer as they move through Allentown. In 2024, this is the number that Jess gave us, we will organize 150 community cleanups, up from 111 last year. As a community, we'll continue to take litter and trash off our streets while we get to work on the underlying issues that blight our city. Cleanups represent our community's collective effort and pride. This initiative not only makes Allentown cleaner, but it also strengthens those communal bonds, reinforcing our shared responsibility for the well-being of the city of Allentown. This year we're going to complete a tree inventory of the entire city and plant, and I don't think this is an ambitious number, but I think we can probably do more. I'm gonna set it at 60. We're gonna plant 60 street trees alongside Allentown school kids. I'm gonna ask students at Allentown elementary schools in key areas to help us design, build, and govern a planting program that will deploy a $920,000 grant from the USDA to do that inventory and planting program. When we plant the right trees in the right places, places without a lot of green space, we will make Allentown cleaner. We have ongoing work to do in developing a community health improvement plan, turning a housing strategy into a housing implementation plan, conducting a parks master plan, and finishing a feasibility study for an innovation district on Hamilton Street. But I'm most excited about the recompete plan. Last month, Allentown was named one of just 22 finalists of 565 applicants from across the country in the Economic Development Administration's Recompete pilot program. It's designed to help communities like ours overcome the barriers that keep people from getting good jobs. Our plan proposes to work with partners like Allentown Economic Development Corporation, Workforce Board of Lehigh Valley, Promise Neighborhoods of the Lehigh Valley, Lanta, and more to get Allentonians working. We'll apply for about $50 million in support of that plan, and I feel increasingly good about our chances. We just had a call today with EDA, and I feel even stronger after that call. Allentown is healthier when we're working. When we have access to quality health care, when our kids are getting a good education, when our neighborhoods are safe, and when we're actively involved in the life of the city. And 2024 is going to be a busy year for community and civic engagement. We'll do more City Hall at the Table sessions. Every month we'll do one. The schedule's available soon. It's up, it's on the website, right? City Hall at the Table sessions are on the website. We'll continue to collaborate with the Refugee Community Center on Welcome Days, where we help new residents through the refugee program understand our ways of doing things in Allentown. And we'll diversify our offerings in the rec department and with the special events team. We'll also implement the findings of our language access study to make City Hall a place where we speak your language, no matter what that language might be. By thoroughly engaging all of our residents, Allentown will become a more inclusive city where everyone is welcome to thrive, prosper, and celebrate. Last month, City Council approved the creation of a sustainability coordinator position, and I will hire that person in the coming months. Mandy's gonna help. That coordinator is going to help us to determine where we stand today with regards to environmental sustainability and help us identify the resources that will improve our position. The flooding that we experienced a couple weeks ago and the extreme heat that we saw last summer are a sign of things to come. There are resources out there to help us reduce emissions and mitigate the impacts of climate change, and the position will give us the ability to access those resources and become more sustainable. And we're going to keep the momentum going on our systems improvements. Let's go back one, there you go. Under the hood, we'll continue to overhaul our financial system through Munis. But while that's happening, we'll launch a public safety dashboard where you'll all be able to better understand crime in our neighborhoods and where it's occurring. We'll also complete a 311 system to allow our residents to report non-emergency issues like flooding, illegal dumping, and down street signs. A lot of what we want to do in 2024 is funded by grants from philanthropies. Go back. One more, there you go. Funded by grants from philanthropies, state and federal government. But the ongoing cost of providing our community with the services that they want and deserve is increasing on an annual basis. I'm committed to managing expenses as well as we have for the past 2 years, and I will keep working to attract new investment and new development and job opportunities for our residents, increasing the base upon which our tax revenue is built. The 2025 city budget is going to be a very public conversation. And we're going to get started early, and we're going to have to make difficult decisions. I'm counting on our entire community to have an open and honest discussion about our future. At the first State of the City address, I said I would be open and honest with the city, and I'm looking for them to reciprocate. And I think you all know how much I love doing this work. And I hope you can tell from the way that I live my life. And last year I asked residents to get involved in simple ways. I asked them to come to a high school basketball game, buy some Girl Scout cookies. I think we're in Girl Scout cookie season right now, and my same folks from last year, Dreamer and Scootaloo, are back up and at it. So you can buy more Girl Scout cookies this year. I also asked people to help with community cleanups, and they did an awesome job, right, Jess? Some folks took it a little bit further. So Hilda Gonzalez, who joined us a couple weeks ago, expanded on our Halloween weekend efforts with an unforgettable Day of the Dead celebration in the Arts Park, where we honored our ancestors and we kept their memories alive. One more. Michael Drabenstadt led an effort to bring the Lehigh Valley Marathon back to life, and he was desperately hoping that I would be there, but again. But we did line up with over 300 runners at 7th and Hamilton to begin a 26.2 mile journey to Easton, and this year I think they're planning on 750 runners. Go ahead. Julie Gallagher, I think there's a few of us in here, right? Julie Gallagher and the Coalition for Appropriate Transportation coordinated with the mayor's office to do a mayor's bike ride to the farmer's market to show Allentown what a bicycle-friendly city could look like. Carmen Bell, coordinating with AARP, conducted walk audits in neighborhoods across Allentown to help us understand not just how to make our streets safer, but friendlier for residents of all ages. Kathy Frederick, who you might know on Instagram as LV Cleanup, is amazing. She alone picked up, this is on just her 3-week vacation. She's an administrator at Lehigh. On a 3-week vacation, she picked up almost 1,000 pounds of litter from the streets of Allentown. That's just 3 weeks in December. She's out there every week of the year picking up litter. Chris Brown is like the Johnny Appleseed of Allentown. He's planted hundreds of trees in the city and ensured that developers of all stripes are continuing to plant trees every time they do a major land division plan, major land subdivision. And Kate Caraha, who I hope some of you got to meet, is so proud of Allentown and its history. She was so intrigued by our region's enduring affection for Hess's, its glamour, the models on Hamilton Street, the strawberry pie. She was so intrigued that she started a podcast to explore that story. It's called The Patio, and it is worth a listen. It's a very cool podcast, a lot of voices that you might recognize. All those folks turned their pride into action. It gives us all hope for the future, and it gives our residents and our businesses the confidence that they need to make bigger investments. And that's what I asked them to do. 2024 is going to be a big year in Allentown. We at the city will make our streets safer, we'll clean up our neighborhoods, we'll plant trees with young people, we'll help residents get to work, we'll welcome new arrivals, and we'll improve our city systems, all to help our families thrive. We'll all come together and cut ribbons at the Archer Music Hall, at the Vinci Science Center, at the Moxie Hotel, at new businesses and new restaurants and new retail shops, which will help our business community prosper. And I don't even know who that next business is who will announce an intention to establish their operations in downtown. 2 weeks ago, we had folks from Olympus, from Shift 4, from B. Braun. It might be one of them. I'm going to push like crazy, and I know that if they make a commitment to the city, that we'll welcome them with open arms. We'll welcome them to the beating heart of the Lehigh Valley. The state of the city of Allentown is strong, and I'm asking us all to celebrate the joy of life together. Thank you so much. Muchísimas gracias. Shukran. Now, the way that chat usually works is that somebody makes like a 30-second pitch on something they're interested in talking about, and then we assemble into tables of 5 or 6 folks and have conversations. I made a 30-minute pitch, and we have some of those topics that are associated with the various different initiatives that I threw up there, and Laura broke them down into conversation areas. That usually we do about 45 minutes of conversation to get everybody out of here by
7:30.
7:30. So, do you want to talk us through that?
Yeah, I would love to.